Yeah, you know what God said? It said He made them man and women. He made them man and women.
He actually said
I just
man,
told you I'm
women,
not
and
gay.
them.
I'll pass on that. Thanks, though.
So.
No, he said God
take
created
your
man,
own
both
advice.
male and female created he them.
That stating
So
biological
them. So there's
facts would
thems.
make
They
people walk
thems.
off the show.
No, the them refers to the men and the women.
No, but he
man
said
is the
them,
gender
so
neutral
it's
word.
like they, them.
Well, he's referring to both of them.
But he said them, so he's like saying man created men and women in them. So he
No,
admitted
he
to
said in the beginning God created man, both male and female created he them.
them.
These are the
Them.
types
So
of
while
man.
other
Them.
countries
Right.
are planning
Male and
to
female.
invade us with debating they, them, the whole thing.
When you refer to multiple people, you say them, right?
Or you could be referring to they, thems.
It's English.
They, thems don't exist. I hate to break it to
I've
you.
met some. It's crazy.
You've
wouldn't
met
believe me.
very confused men and sometimes very confused women, but you have never met an
Most
actual
non-binary people I meet are women, not men.
Yeah.
Just gonna put that out there.
Really? Why do you think that is?
Maybe because they don't have to face the consequences of all their friends being jackasses. A woman coming out as non-binary probably will have a friend group that will accept her more than
A man.
a man
Coming out
as non-binary.
Oh, I thought you were saying the women get into this stuff because they're really messed up or something more than the men are, but you're saying that this is a real category of being and it's just the men are afraid to admit it. You can't seriously believe that.
I do believe there's people who are, I don't know if it's ambiguous or what it is. There's people who were born in their wrong gender. There's people who are born and they don't feel like they fit in either box. Do I think people are born that believe they're cats and stuff? No. I don't believe that. No.
There are
Do I
people who
believe-
think that, though.
I'm saying no, I don't. I'm not saying that's correct, but I haven't seen anything to back that up. But I just,
So
the fact that you guys, in anyone's right mind would somebody go from, like Bruce Jenner, for example, or Caitlyn Jenner now, for example.
Did you just
Successful.
dead name?
Successful athlete, Olympian, whatever, all this
Guy in
stuff.
the Wheaties box.
Was married to Kris Jenner, had the fucking life of whatever. Unless she truly believed that and felt that deep inside of her core, she ultimately ruined her life for basically a whole decade.
No, he became much more relevant and famous than he was.
I
previously.
highly
Obviously,
disagree.
he was on magazine covers.
Well,
Everybody
he
was
got
talking
way
about him.
more
We're talking
She's
about
been
him.
on magazine covers. She's an Olympian. That's not. She's
But
not
he had-
on. She's not on.
He was an
covers
Olympian
'cause
many
she's
decades
trans.
ago. No,
but
exactly. He was on a magazine cover for the first time in decades.
But
because
after
he
she
pretended to
came
be a woman.
out as she she got way more hate.
Exactly.
And she got
the only thing
ruined
worse than being talked
relationships.
about is not being
But
talked
she probably
about. That's
made
how
more
show business
money.
works.
But no, she
Okay,
she
so
lost a
take
lot of
away. Okay,
relationships.
But the
sorry.
reason he
take
did
away
that-
Caitlyn Jenner.
do you know why? The
Okay, no,
reason-
hold on. Put on your basic day-to-day person. Okay, you're not gonna like this one. Okay, no, not you. You, for example. Okay, there's people like you who are super conservative, right in their
Handsome.
views and stuff, and then.
Charming.
They wake up
And
and,
then-
they want to be a woman.
But is it because they just woke up and want to be a woman, or is it because they finally found the courage to
Well, maybe
come out with
that's
something
probably-
they've been suppressing their whole lives? I just don't understand why you guys think somebody would risk. Like, yes, some people can benefit from coming out as trans, but most people do not benefit from that. So why would somebody risk their whole livelihood, not even just career, but literally especially black
Because they
trans
have a
people?
sexual fetish. Because they have a
Also, why
disordered
does it
sexual
bother
desire.
you?
I think
I
it's
feel like
just
why does
so
it bother
complex.
people?
Because it isn't true.
But why does it
Like,
bother
why
you?
is
It's
that?
not
Yeah.
harming you. It's not hurting anyone.
Well, it
like,
is
they're
harming
just-
society.
So
a
do
lot.
you go
I mean,
around? Do you go around
How?
fighting
Because-
people who think the world's flat? Do you go around
You're like
fighting
you're
them?
harming society.
No, well, because in the case of transgenderism and this ridiculous idea that men can secretly be women and vice versa, there are very practical effects that we see. Like, for instance, if we
pushed
accept
onto
this,
children.
Yeah, well, it's obvious. It's pushed onto children. We're castrating children left and right, which is insane. But also, if we accept transgenderism at all, even for one single adult person, that means that certain things will change in society. Women don't get to
Maybe
have their own
things
bathrooms
need to
anymore.
change.
Women don't get to have, well, perhaps, but at least one could have the debate. Women don't get to have their own bathrooms. Women don't get to have their own sports teams. Women don't get to have their own specific rights and places in society. Protections in civil rights law, they lose that because some men can say that they're women. And so it seems to me the obvious question to ask is not, well, what does it matter to you? Who really cares? First of all, the people pushing this seem to care a lot. But the question to ask is it true? Are these men who say that they're women actually women? or are they men who are confused or who have weird sexual fetishes or have disordered desires?
Gender-wise, they
Obviously,
are. Biologically, they're not. So
what's the difference?
The difference is like science, and then the other difference is like how you feel in your head and the way you are in society. There's a huge difference. The difference is like the chromosomes and then your mentality.
Okay, so if there's a
point.
disagreement between what you're saying is your physical self and your emotional self, your
Yes.
psychological self, then why would you not just change your mind? If the options are chop up your body to make go through gruesome surgeries,
If
that
you're
are gonna probably
living with
shorten
your mind
life,
for your whole life and you understand like, oh, I've been trying to change it. Like she said, most people are repressing it and are trying to change it, but they just can't. So why would this is something physical that I can easily go change instead of trying to retrain your thought process over and over and over and over
But
again.
it's
It's
not
like it's
so
because they'd rather be
easy,
dead.
though.
They would rather be dead than live in the lie anymore.
But
is
the
what
problem,
it's getting to.
if you bring up like suicidality, there is no evidence that having these surgeries and pretending to be the opposite sex reduces any of that whatsoever. So the
Because
people
there's always going to be,
post-op,
because there's going to be dysphoria forever, especially
Yeah.
from people like you guys
so it
going
doesn't
on
help.
the internet.
No, it's from
fucking
themselves because they know that
bashing
they're living
them
a lie.
every day.
Yeah.
No,
That's
no,
my
you're
whole
not-
thing.
I'm not bashing anybody.
I'm not
No,
saying you. Okay,
you,
maybe I
but-
shouldn't say. Maybe Chase. Because my whole thing. Because I didn't even get to speak on the.
But what
video
he
of me
said
that
was
got played.
totally right.
Okay, so since we're gonna
Sure,
go back to
go
that,
ahead.
the video that got played, right? If you don't want to sleep with a trans woman, that is your prerogative. I don't give a what you want to do. That is your preference. That does not make you transphobic at all. But to get up on a podcast that has almost 4 million viewers and to say that any man who chooses to sleep with a trans woman is now taking part in homosexual, gay activities, I feel like that is wrong. I feel like that is hateful. And for somebody who claims to be so religious, so God, new, born again, virgin, Christian, I think that's very hateful of you. If you want to say, I personally wouldn't do that, that's not for me, then that's your thing. Answer the question. That's how you do it. It's a step further.
Is it hateful to say that a man can't really secretly be a woman?
I'm saying it's hurtful to say that sleeping, for any man to sleep.
But the first question you have to answer is not
That's
sleeping
not.
with
But
who.
I'm
The
talking
fir-
about what happened on the podcast.
No, I know, but
I'm referring to
I'm
that.
picking up on his point. The question is, what is a trans woman? And so what Chase would say and what I would say and what everybody throughout all of human history until 5 minutes ago would say is that a trans woman is just a man who is pretending to be a woman.
So I'm the only one who thinks this in the world.
yeah,
You're,
you're
in the
trying to say.
minority.
No,
yeah.
she's
A lot
not.
of people
Yeah.
are saying it now, but you're historically speaking, yes. Statistically, 0% of people ever have thought that a man wearing
No,
a
there's
dress and a
cultures
That's
where
so
there's
incorrect.
cultures where they're
Then what about in
gender
They're
Thailand?
not They don't
What
know.
about the femboys in Thailand that have
well,
existed for
there-
decades and decades
right,
and
there-
decades and decades?
There's
and they're
this third
living.
weird thing in certain cultures, like a modern
So
culture
you don't
like Thailand.
don't erase them.
But that's-
Then you're erasing them. That's
No,
like me
but
trying to
you
erase your
are
religion.
even-
If I could be like, oh, well, there's some people who believe in this one
No,
ancient thing called the Bible.
but
Yeah,
even
some
the-
of them went and roamed with him.
But even
that
when you're
you're
talking about
erasing
when you're talking
whole
about this,
countries.
this weird species of prostitute in Thailand,
Weird species of prostitute.
Yes,
You don't
that's what-
understand how that sounds. You know,
that
that's
sounds
what,
precise.
A weird species. Oh, so now we're not human. So back to
No,
the abortion.
a species in the
I'm
technical
just saying,
term.
Hold
Bro,
on.
if
Let,
you're
let
gonna
him
be-
let him explain. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so it's a type. So even there's this weird phenomenon in Thailand, for example, where there are these guys.
That a
who
lot
get
of
weird
American
surgeries.
men go to.
Yeah, well, they probably shouldn't do that. But the reason that is different is because it's not, those people are not saying, I am really a woman. That's a weird, bizarre cultural carve-out that exists in Thailand. The difference here is, and what you are saying, is that a man who puts on a dress, puts on a wig, chops his body up, calls himself a woman, is actually a woman. And I just don't see how you could believe that that is true.
So she has a vagina, probably tighter than mine, double D racks,
Wait.
hair down to the ass, looks like a woman, talks like a woman, does everything besides menstruate and can give birth. What is separating her between the woman who are infertile, who can't have birth, or a woman after menopause, or the woman who never get their period?
So physically,
Are they not women either?
physically speaking, one, those are pretty big differences, and there are other differences too in terms of their bone density and the shape of their
Oh, yeah, 'cause
skeletons
you're
or-
gonna- yeah.
But also there are the chromosomal differences, which is that that woman, as you call it, still chromosomally is a man. And then beyond that, are you actually saying that women are just their
Well,
bodies?
that's-
That a woman is nothing more than
Are you saying a woman is just her chromosomes? She's nothing more
no,
than
no,
just her
I'm
chromosomes?
saying a woman is much more than all of that. That actually,
Me too. That's why I'm saying
But-
that.
but not just
if
chromosomes.
she feels, since
A-
the
a
day
woman
she
is
was
also a
woke up
soul,
in this,
is what I'm saying.
yes, and that person woke up the first day of their conscience, and since they can remember, they remember their soul being a woman or a man or whatever.
Well, that's
trapped.
usually not true. That's usually a
it's
sexual
not
fetish.
true.
that
You need to
develops
understand
over
why
time.
it's
But
called-
everyone
Can I
feels
say
that way.
Well, that's
No,
why.
I'm
So
just
do you
correcting.
believe people aren't gay either then? Do you believe nobody's gay and they just do it for attention
Well, no,
as well?
to say I am gay means that I have an attraction to a member of the same sex.
Okay, I'm just
So-
clarifying because a lot of people who usually do this trans argument are also arguing that gay people don't exist either.
Nobody denies that certain people have different sexual attractions. In fact,
People deny it all the time. Actually, they say it's a choice that they're
Oh.
choosing to do that. They're
Oh
not
well,
born that way.
they're certainly choosing to engage in certain behaviors.
But
yeah, that's true.
choosing to engage because it's your biological driven.
No, you can
duty.
suppress your own desires. I have all sorts of desires that I repress.
Yes, you can suppress
I wanna
your own
go- I wanna go
desires,
eat a
but
cookie
why
right
should
now. I wanna
somebody?
go get a delicious hard seltzer? But I'm
Yes,
not
you can
gonna do
express
that.
your own desires, but why should somebody have to suppress if it's two legal consenting adults? Why should somebody have to suppress that just
They
because they're the
Because
same
we
gender?
have obligations to reality and to the truth.
What's the reality? The reality is we
The
should be a
reality
man and a
that
woman. That's
in
the
a
reality.
The reality is that a man in a dress is not a man, or is not a woman.
Okay, but
rather.
now
Okay,
I was
so
trying to get away from
this
something
is,
else.
This is
Hold
why
on.
the
Yeah.
whole
Go
thing,
ahead,
the whole
Sam.
thing goes back to where it's called transgender and not trans-sex. Like you can't change your sex. To the down to the bottom of it, your chromosomes are going to be your chromosomes, but
Right.
they're
Into the
changing
mic, into the
their
mic.
gender. And gender is a man-made thing. It's something that we've created. We've created genders and gender roles in our society. We did not create sex. Yes, there's men and female. That goes back to science or God, whatever you would like to say.
if gender is man-made, then you're saying it's artificial. It's not real.
It's not real.
Oh, okay. So then who cares?
Exactly. So why do you care?
Oh well, if it's not real, then the trans woman is just a man.
For
'Cause
you,
you said-
maybe.
'cause you
But
said
for
the gender's not
her,
real.
she's a woman.
But
and
I
that's
think
fine.
gender is
And I
real.
don't think it should bother you. And I don't think it should get all these little incel men
Whoa,
angry
whoa,
about it.
You don't? Do you not think? I mean,
Okay, I think the
incel
issue is
man
that
who's
this whole
abstinent by choice.
conversation, it makes the male role, right? It kind of creates the more, I don't know. I just think the whole argument about gender, it's so pushed out into our society. I don't think it's like this in the rest of the world right now.
Right.
There's so many other issues, like the
The
whole
rest of the world knows what
like
men
the
and women are.
62 different genders.
yeah.
It's kind of insane. I mean, I'm not hateful towards anyone. I think as long as you're a good person, you can do whatever you want. I just don't like that it's pushed onto children, because like a lot of people that are getting these surgeries, they regret it. And then a lot of children that are put onto hormones, it really messes with your...
And also,
Well, there's a lot of
obviously,
things
this
recently
is
too.
something
I'm
that
sure
is
it is,
brand
but-
new to our society, and there needs to be a lot of more research done and more understanding